Welcome back to the Not Sorry podcast. It's your favorite girl, your best online friend, podcast buddy, you know, everything. Enough of that. Favorite tough love bestie over here. Today we are reading in some listener write-ins and responses through, I asked these questions on the social medias, all that stuff, and some people have written in, which is always so exciting. So we have 3 that we're reading today, and if that's you and want some outside perspective, a little bit of tough love, just, you know, just something different. It's always good to get that other perspective, even if you don't listen to me. It's like, why would I listen to my parents when I'm 14, you know? So let's dive in, babes. All right, first one is brief and to the point. Let's see, where'd it go? The title of this one is, I've been seeing someone for about 2 months. He's great, but I want to end things. Let me zoom in. Let me gather myself here. Okay. About 8 months ago, I had the worst heartbreak in my life. It was with a man that I had been only seeing for 6 months, but I fell for the love bomb and dismissed dance, and recently I've decided to get back in the dating scene. Okay. I have made a list in therapy using 10 things that my next partner must have and 10 things they cannot have. That's always a good place to start. You know, hold on. I met someone who checks those boxes, but I just feel like I don't like him. I have no idea why. He has a great job, emotionally intelligent, kind and funny. He is patient and is aware that I have had some baggage that I carry from my last relationship. The only thing is that spark that's missing. Things feel so bland, but maybe I'm just comfortable. Will I be making a mistake by ending things, or would I be making a mistake by staying in something when I don't feel fulfilled? A lot of F's there. Lists don't work. They can help. Lists, I think, are a great jumping point. How many of you, raise your hand, had in junior high and high school that list of everything that you wanted your husband to have? Being a church girly, growing up, that was every single girl had that list. That must be a godly man. They must have these qualities and have this color hair and these color eyes. Like, we were psychotic. I remember, side story, actually, one of my friends in high school all of my friends in high school were also my friends in church. So we all kind of migrated together in those little areas. One of them, we rode the same bus, and I knew a lot of my friends had crushes on my brothers. Ugh. But I knew it, but I dealt with it knowing that they were just going to be my friends because of boys, whatever. Anyway, this one in particular, she was the pastor's daughter. Yeah. And big crush on my middle brother. Everyone knew it. But these lists, she had these lists, and for some reason we were talking about it on the bus one morning, and she was reading her list, and I was reading off the description of my brother, who is a very distinct redheaded freckle guy, and that's not very common. And I'm like, bish. We all had those lists, but doing it in therapy, I think, is a great place to start, because you kind of have someone to give you you make sure you want to have that or this, and then you can take from previous relationships, right? Because you're an adult, previous relationships that you've had, and knowing, what you've learned from those things. So with this, wait, how long ago was it? It was 8 months ago. When did you start seeing this other guy? She didn't really say, but it was pretty close together. You're probably, I don't know, it's like you're confused, and it's okay to maybe see it out a little bit, but as everyone is sick of me here saying, is take some time for yourself, learn and grow from your past relationship and what it's taught you about what you want in a future partner, what you don't want in a future partner. And it sounds like from that ex relationship, it was very bad and toxic. And those are you probably have some like easy boxes to check of like, I definitely don't want a guy who's a narcissist. I definitely don't want a guy who's going to do this. But everything can change over time. That's why those stupid lists in junior high quickly went out the door. You know, I remember there was one guy in my church. I was like, that guy, he checks all the boxes. And this is an awful comparison because I was a child. You're an adult. But everything can change. You know, don't take your list as dogma, as like, this is now my 10 commandments. And I think a lot of women do that. You know, they want the 6'5", blue eyes, likes and finance type of guy. And it's like, okay, but who are they as a person? Do they love their mother? Do they treat their mother well? Like, how do they treat strangers when they're in a weird situation or something like that? Like, I would take a step back. Like, you don't have to break up with the guy, but observe their heart. Are they kind? Are they, exactly, like, do they treat their mother? Like, how is their relationship with their mother? And, you know, even with that, although a good relationship with their mother is an excellent green flag, sometimes it's not always the case. So you just take it with a grain of salt and say like, okay, their mom might be dead or they don't have a great relationship with their mother, and like just learn more about that. Like, just because they have a shitty relationship with their mom doesn't mean they're automatically a bad guy or a bad person, okay, or have all these bad qualities. Anyway, there's so many nuances, and I would say like things just change. They change so much, and understand like the type of person that you naturally attract. I've talked about this already. Like, the kind of guy that I would just naturally bring toward me were those introverted, melodramatic, complicated guys, the intelligent, like moody and like brooding kind of like guy. And it was always so mysterious to me and all that stuff. And I'm an extrovert. And so of course opposites attract, right? Like literally. And it just never worked. I was always like, bro, can you use your words? Like, I don't know what's going on with you. And then I would get too pushy and they would feel like I was being overbearing or, you know, something like that. And I had to break the cycle. And I did that. And I found somebody who is on the exact opposite spectrum of everything I've ever dated. But I would always imagine dating a guy like Mark, someone who is outgoing, easy in groups, like just easygoing, can talk to anyone, and just a happy-go-lucky. Like, that's what I love. Like, someone who knows when to take things seriously, has a great relationship with their family, and can make me laugh. Big one is they make me laugh. And when Mark and I first met, it wasn't that. I was actually thinking about this earlier today because I was listening to a Mel Robbins clip about the spark versus the slow burn relationships. And I've definitely been on dates with people who I've instantly had this insane spark with, but they're clearly not here right now, right? And with Mark, there was a spark, but it's not like that, like firework sparks, if you will. One reason being, I kind of figured out when we first met, we were talking and stuff, that he was he had just started to see someone. So I'm like, I'm going to lay off the charm, not like, you know, but I did try to give him my phone number later that night. I was drunk. Okay, whatever. But the point is that it wasn't like this immediate, like, whoa, spark. I was like, I like that guy. That guy was really nice and funny. We had a good conversation. I liked him. And so it wasn't that insane spark. It would be more along the lines of that slow burn. So it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to see if there would be a slow burn in your situation. You know, keep it. I would, in that case, if you want to test out the waters, like definitely keep it low key. You don't want to put so much investment into this relationship. Take it step by step. see if that slow burn does turn into a spark. And usually those, from what Mel Robbins said anyway, those relationships last the longest, right? I think that's the way it was. But yeah, it's okay to be curious. Like, just get curious about him. Like, he checks all these boxes, and figure it out. Take it step by step. Go on dates. Get to know him a little bit more. How long did you say you knew him? 2 months? 3 months? 6 months? No, that was the other guy. I met someone. Sorry, one second. You didn't actually say how long you've been seeing him. But you're still healing from that past relationship too. So like, just take it easy. You don't got to break up with the guy. Don't over analyze. Don't have that like decision paralysis type of thing. Just take a deep breath. Take it as is. Let him know exactly where you're at with things. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, the beginning of relationships is the best time to be so brutally honest. Be like, dude, I'm getting out of this relationship that I'm honestly still healing from. I do like you. I want to see where things can possibly go. So let's just take it easy. Let's, just take it easy. Nothing crazy serious right now, but you are the only person I'm seeing, or I'm going to go on dates with other people. Like, whatever it is you want to have that conversation with, like, that's the easiest time to have that courage, is the beginning, honestly. And if you're listening, if anyone's listening to this who's in the first early stages of a relationship, dude, now's the time. Put your pedal to the metal, man. Like, say what you want to say and see what happens. What else? What's the worst thing that can happen? He says no, and you're like, oh, wow, bullet dodged. Okay, next. Okay. This one's a little touchy, and I highly relate to it. The subject line is, how do I fix my sex life? Oh, babe. Okay. I had my baby girl 6 months ago. My sex life is almost non-existent. I waited 8 weeks to have sex, and I'm just not into it anymore. Okay. It's to the point I thought of telling my boyfriend we can have an open relationship so he can be satisfied. Babe. No. Okay. We have sex maybe once a week, 2 times if I'm lucky. That's more than me. Okay, where was I? It's not his fault, is it mine? ? Kind of, I guess. And after I had the baby, I gained some weight, and I do not find myself attractive anymore. And when we go to have sex, I'm disgusted by myself, so I just let him get off. It's hard to please me since I had the baby, and I just want to know if there's a way to fix this, or is it worth it just letting him open our relationship? I know it's got to suck wanting sex and not being able to have it. I probably should add I'm trying to lose weight, but it's hard working 40 hours a week and pretty much every day, so I don't have much time to. I think this, from the sounds of it, you're young, very young. And, my heart breaks. I was in a sexless marriage. You're not. Well, you're not in a sexless relationship, I'll tell you that. If you're forcing it, I can feel, I get it. Like, it just doesn't feel good. Like, you're like, all right, I just want to make sure he feels satisfied, and it really has nothing to do with you. When it has everything to do with you. Have you heard of postpartum? Anything postpartum. Doesn't even have to be postpartum depression. Anything postpartum is difficult. And I don't have to be a mom to know that or tell you that. Okay, I'm going to be a little nicer. But honestly, no, you will regret that. Like, have you sat down and just said, hey, I'm struggling. I know you probably want this more than I do, but I am going through XYZ. I feel this way about myself, and I really want to make sure we're in a good spot where you with our sex life, XYZ. Don't even put, if that's your jam, an open relationship, I'm not going to yuck your yum, but you will regret that. Like, that's the easy way out in a way, but it also will hurt you. It will. And is that really how you want your life? Because you're so concerned about him? No. Focus on yourself. Have the conversation with him. See where he's at. You don't even know. Do you know? Doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like you've sat down and had kind of a hard conversation about your sex life. I can't tell you how many times I've had those conversations with my ex-husband. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. Here's a story. I got married, as we know, at 19. 4 months later, he deployed to Afghanistan, and he was gone for a year. I stayed back in Nebraska for like a long period of time, and then eventually went back down here to Tennessee to get a job, establish myself while he was still away. Anyway, a year later, he gets back. Actually, I think it was like 18 months later. He gets back, and I waited till marriage. Okay. You know, your girl had some desires and wanted to do it a lot. And he gets back and, okay, pop quiz. How long did it take for us to do the deed after not seeing each other as newlyweds for like 18 months? A, 1 month. B, 3 weeks. C, 4 months. No, it's C. It took like 4 months to actually do it. Bro, that, I still can't wrap my head around it. I cannot. Sure, you know, if you're deployed, he was not in combat, so we're not going to give too much of all the violence. Nah, he was sitting behind a computer all day. Not that it wasn't stressful, like there's some grace, and I get that coming out of something like that is very stressful, no matter what. But I mean, don't you want to like relax a little bit? You just want to like, oh my God, it was the worst. And oh, well, okay, here's another fun fact. Mid-deployment, he comes home for R&R for like a week or 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks. It took like a week. We wasted a whole week. And during that week, I found out he was like cheating on me. It was so fucked up, guys. It was so fucked up. But even now, my sex life, dude, it's like 1 time a week, which is great. It's great. And sometimes I want it twice. And that's good. But don't put so much pressure on yourself to think like, oh, this is what a healthy sex life looks like. It has to be like 6 times a week with all these crazy little things. And you have to feel this way. You have to look this way. That's a healthy. No, it's not. No, a healthy sex life is what a healthy sex life is to you, not to what you've consumed on social media or dumb fake TV shows. Okay. You need to take a step back, calm down, have a conversation, and then start to rebuild. Write down and talk about it with each other. What is a good sex life? What does that look like for us? It may not happen right now, but I want to work towards something like that because, I just had a baby. I'm getting my body back, and, being postpartum, like not baby weight or losing weight or anything like that, but just everything that goes on inside of you physically and hormonally takes a full on year. I know this because I have a background and whatever, but give yourself a little bit of grace. Continue to work on yourself. 100% do that. You're taking action to feel better about yourself. I love that. You're going in a really good direction. Continue to go on walks, plan out your day, prioritize your activity, your workouts, whatever it is that makes you feel good about yourself. Block, schedule, do whatever you need. You have a baby now. Do as much as you can to schedule. Okay? I know being a new mom, it's a little like, right? But big thing is just stop putting those expectations on yourself. You're assuming something about him that you could be 100% wrong. He could be 100% happy about your sex life. He's probably just happy that it's happening twice a week, which is a lot more than some people, probably a lot of people. Babe, you're fine. You're fine. Trust me. So sit down and just have a little bit of a chat and stop putting so much pressure on yourself and continue to take action on what you want to do and how you want to feel and how you want to look, and like just love yourself a little bit more as well. Okay. All right. Whew. Was I done talking about myself? bro, that was tough. That was so tough. Those 4 months of like, I was continuously like, what is going on in your head? Like, he was a complicated introvert who just was so just emotional. Ugh. And so like unpredictable. And like, I just like, can you say words? Like, I didn't think I was being overbearing, but as a 19, 20-year-old, you don't have a lot of tools in your toolbox for managing relationships and conflict and things like that. So I knew that I could be overbearing when I am in a tough situation. But I knew that, so I would like take a step back and like give him a minute to like, okay, respond. And we would sit there in silence for minutes on end, just silence. And looking back, it's like, he didn't even know. I knew. He didn't even know what he felt or wanted to say, I think. Or he was just too much of a fucking coward to say something. Oh, it was the worst. And I brought it up. Like, I take things head on. And I've learned the art of that, because sometimes it can be wrong place, wrong time. And, you know, it's an art. It really is. Conflict resolution and difficult conversations really is an art that you will continuously perfect, even if you're with the same partner for years on end, okay? Because life changes you. Next one, and our last one. Where is it? All right. Subject line of this one is, how do I apologize to a friend I've ghosted for about 4 months? Friendships. I know a lot about that. Okay. I ghosted a friend for the past 4 months. I never answered her. I went through a long depressive episode, actually related to a diagnosed mood disorder, riddled with problems at work. And I feel like I'm only coming out of it very recently. I isolated myself, avoided any social gathering, only talked to people I saw directly, and rarely reaching out to anyone that didn't reach me first. Lately, now that my problems with my work are basically over and that I feel like I'm getting my head out of the water, I've been feeling super guilty about ghosting that friend. What's worse is that I know she herself had problems and I wasn't there for her. And I'm afraid that reaching out to her will make things worse and that she hates me. I'm super non-confrontational. You're talking to the right person. And that's something I know is what is wrong with me. Is apologizing to her a good thing, or should I let her be? And how should I go with the apology? It is a good thing. 100%. You know, I think if she is a real, true, good friend and you go to her with humility and honesty, she'll respond the same way. If she's like, you fucking bitch, you weren't there for me, but I don't care about your problems, well, you got your answer. You cannot feel guilty anymore, and you move on and never talk to them again, okay? Because a real friend will be like, oh, I had no idea. I really wish you reached out. And have another good question to know is, did she reach out during that time too? It kind of sounds like it. But if not, it's like, well, it is a two-way street. But if she did, when it sounds like she was reaching out during that period of time, you know, just respond, just be like, hey, can we get lunch? Can we get dinner? Let's get a drink. I really want to talk to you about what's been going on, because I feel really guilty about just hibernating. I do the same thing. I went through a lot of like difficult times. And when I go through really long periods of stressful times, that's what I do. I hibernate and I collect my thoughts. I collect my energy. That is very natural for me to kind of hermit myself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's healthy ways to do that, and there's non-healthy ways to do that. I know for me, when I'm in those periods of time, it's healthy for me to, because I don't even want to talk, right? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think, I just hermit, right? And it's important for me to have at least one person to be like, yeah, this is what I'm going through, XYZ. I don't care about what they're going to say. Just saying it out loud is so healing. It really is. So definitely reach out. And it might feel hard, might feel like awkward, but this isn't a confrontation. That's also a very important thing you need to remember. You're not confronting anything. If anything, you're confronting yourself and what you went through, and you're just reaching out to a friend that you haven't talked to in a while. Okay? Like, reframe it in that way so that it's easier for you to reach out and like kind of say something difficult to someone that you truly care about. So that's what the confrontational queen recommends. No, I love that one. I've been through some tough friendships before. I think we all have. And you know what? We can learn from them all. We can learn from everything. We can learn from today. So that is everything for the pod. I really appreciate y'all listening. I do not have a buzzkill segment today because life's been kind of good. I don't have much complaints, but I have a big weekend ahead of me, so stay tuned. There's something coming up. I have a girlfriend's bachelorette party on Saturday, which I'm actually pretty stoked about, except that they want to do a workout in the morning. Ew. But I'll do it because I need to get a workout in anyway, and it might be kind of fun to do it with friends. So we're doing that, and then we're doing brunch at another girl's house. Then we're going to do the Pedal Tavern in Nashville. I'm in Nashville, guys. I've never done a pedal tavern. They are a bitch to drive behind, but they actually look kind of fun. And it's going to be the most gorgeous spring day on Saturday. And the only problem with those is that you have to bring, and I knew this, you have to bring your own like beer or booze, but you can't bring hard alcohol, or like you can't do high noons or anything like that. It's like beer and then like White Claws and Trulies. And those two, I don't want to do beer because calories. And the White Claws and Trulies make me feel like an absolute whale when I drink them. They're so insanely carbonated. So I'm either going to do like Twisted Teas, or I think there was one other option. Anyway, so that's actually going to seem like pretty fun. Every so often I'll get in the mood to do like the stereotypical like Nashville tourist thing, you know, some people who move here is super annoying. They're like, it's been 1 year and I can't stand this city. All there is to do is just drink and bar hop. Like, bitch, I know you came here on a vacation, had the time of your life. We're like, this is every day. Woo, this is Nashville. Woo. Like, and then you move here and realize that you got to live a normal life. Like, get your head out of your ass. Like, this city is so much fun. I love it. There's so much to do. Just change your expectation. No, you're not going to be bar hopping every weekend and hitting up Broadway on like the drag queen party bus. No. Okay. I do that. I do like a touristy thing like once, maybe twice a year. Other than that, there's plenty of other things to do. Plenty, okay? And it's not all about country music. Wow, I really got on a tangent there. Anyway, if you want my recommendations for your next trip to Nashville, give me a call. But no, for the Buzzkill segment, I do want to hear your guys's. So if you're on TikTok listening to this, comment your Buzzkill. And a Buzzkill is something that happened that just totally ruined the vibe, or that something you just want to complain about that's like super petty. I love it. So comment or DM me there, or email me down below. You'll see that. And thanks again for supporting the pod. As you all know, I'm trying to make this a full-time gig. A lot of intrusive thoughts are happening, a lot of self-doubt and negativity, and Walter's here to support. What a sweetie pie. But we're staying positive. Like I've always said, if my fitness journey has taught me anything, it's to trust the process. So that's what we're doing every day, day in, day out, just going for it. Okay? Thanks again. Rate and review, recommend, whatever. You know the drill. Love you. Bye.